Hello, welcome. Welcome to your series. So let's talk a little bit about journaling and how journaling can empower you. So in any given day, we think a minimum of 10,000 thoughts. Can you believe that? Like 10,000 thoughts in a day, in a 24-hour period. Most of them are very repetitive, right? And often we're not even aware of them. But when we start to actually write out stuff on paper, okay, it does a few different things. First of all, it clears your mind. It gives you clarity on what you're thinking about. So think of the journaling like a brain dump. That's how I think of it. I used to think of journaling like when I was a teenager and I was writing in my diary. And this doesn't really resonate with me at this point in my life. But when I started to think of journaling as brain dumping and just getting stuff out of my head and off my chest and out of my heart, it felt more intuitive and it resonated with me on just a much greater, more empowering level. So the thing about when you write something down, first, like I said before, it gives you clarity, right? Especially if it's something that's a limiting belief. So you write out something about yourself that you believe to be true, but it really isn't very self-serving. The thing is when you write it down, it has power. It has power in a really beneficial way if you want to look at it that way. So you write out something, and when you look back at those words, it is an opportunity for you to become aware. Think of it as just information and feedback, okay? On areas that you still need to work on areas that trigger you. And when we try to keep everything up here, it gets really mucky and it gets really, really messy. When you write it out, you're clearing space and you're giving yourself space and permission to reframe those thoughts and to come into a more vibrant, lighter hearted type of thought sensation. So when you write back to yourself and you read this limiting belief, then you can say to yourself, well, is that really true? Or you could say to yourself, well, how can I reframe this so that I feel better about it? And you can start to write more positive, affirming statements, okay? And when you start to write those more affirmative statements out, those have so much power as well because they give you the power of insight and possibility into what actually can be true for you. And the thing is that it is so challenging for you to achieve something if you don't even believe it in your own mind. If you don't believe that something can happen for you, then it's not going to. And sometimes when we recite these limiting beliefs in our mind over and over again, but we don't write them down, we're just constantly storing that into the subconscious mind, okay? And it gets filled with all of these limiting thoughts. When you begin to journal and write it out, then you can create that clarity around those statements, come up with something more positive, and then automatically it starts to make you feel a little bit lighter and a little bit better at what is possible. What could happen for me, right? And if you don't think about the positive things that can happen, then you can't create anything powerful for yourself, okay? You have to clear out the negative. And the journaling, the writing it out in all the ways that work for you and resonate with you will help you to reframe your mind into thinking more positive and at least look at what is available. Even if you don't think it's realistic in the moment, it can be simply by writing it out, okay? So journaling exercises in this series is so important. It's so important. There's going to be questions that I will give you that I encourage you to really take time and think about and write about and clear out of your mind so that you can start to make space in the subconscious mind for things that are more affirming, more positive, and that resonate with your higher, truer self. when you journal, really invite the time. So don't do journaling when you've only got like 5 minutes and you're rushed to be doing or going somewhere else, okay? Take the time, sit down, find a comfortable place for you to sit, get a really nice journal, maybe, you know, like something that's got some pictures on it, if that resonates with you. If you want to use colored pens, you can. Whatever it is that's going to inspire you to actually take the time to write things out. And then keep that. So the other beautiful thing about journaling is once you release that space out of your mind, then there can be times where you can go back to it and say, you know, like you're having that limiting thought again. And you can go, yeah, well, you know what? I wrote about that before. Let me go back to that page and see what I wrote. And instead of trying to store that up in your mind by going, oh yeah, I had that limiting thought. Oh, what did I think that made me feel better? Oh God, no, I don't know. I can't remember now. No. Don't even go there. You know what? That's just such a waste of energy. You write it down, you've made the space, and you've opened up the possibility to receive something different. The journaling is all about being able to see things differently, being ready, open, and willing to see things differently with respect to your health. Okay, so take the time. I encourage you to write freely without any judgment, and also write without any expectation of what you think you should put down on paper. I want you to write from the heart, okay? And what you're actually truly thinking and feeling and believing. And even when you're writing out those negative, self-limiting thoughts, it's okay if they make you feel a little heavier. When you start to reframe and think about, well, this is how this makes me feel. Then ask the question, well, how do I want to feel about this thought? And then that opens up the door to being able to write, well, I want to feel like XYZ, or I want it to be like this, or this is how I want it to roll moving forward. And even though it hasn't happened, just the writing down of the positive affirmation already starts to bring in a little higher energy into your body that you're vibrating out. And then take a moment after you write out those more affirmative statements and feel them in your body as if they've actually already occurred for you. Okay? That's can be a little bit of a tricky part. But you know what? Just start to feel good. Just think about, well, if I want empowered health and I want, you know, more healthy hormones, I want to sleep better, I want to have more vibrancy and vitality and energy in my body, I want to have a more positive mindset, better digestion. All the things, okay? Just think about for a moment, after you write out how you feel and how you want things to be, just take a moment and feel as if it's already happened for you. And what does that feeling actually feel like in your body? What does it feel like? Does it bring you joy, excitement, eagerness, happiness, full on like super high vibes and energy? You know, just think about, well, if I had it already, how would it feel? Because here's the thing, it isn't about, I mean, it's great when it actually will happen. But to get there from where you are now, you have to start to reframe your feelings in your body. So if you feel negative and heavy about it, that's what the vibration within yourself is going to be. That's what you're going to radiate out. When you start to feel lighthearted and excited and eager and joyful and happy about what it is that you want, you're going to start to send that energy out. And that energy is what is going to come back to you, okay? It will take time, but keep journaling every single day if you can. Make that time in your day, whether it's first thing in the morning or the end of the night. Typically, morning or evening is best. I like to journal in the evenings because it just lets me let everything go. And then when I go to bed, I'm actually going to bed reframing my thoughts in a more positive way. That's how it works for me. For some people, it works better first thing in the morning. They take that time, they clear that space, and then it sets them for the day. I want you to do what resonates with you, okay? Just journal every single day. Journal every single day and keep going, because you know what? Part of creating the health that you want starts with reframing everything that's in your mind and all the limiting beliefs and clearing them out, like you're literally opening up a suitcase and throwing out all the pieces of clothing that you don't want because you just don't think they serve you anymore. Okay? All right. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.